A few of you have picked up on this really big mistake that I keep making, and it's getting so excited when the weather gets good. I literally just get my camera out and fire off as many shots as possible without thinking about the settings. Sometimes the ISO's at 4000, other times the aperture's wide open, and other times the shutter speed is so slow that I start getting blurry shots. Now, if you do this, you're not alone. It happens to all of us, and it normally happens when you get those fleeting bits of light. Oh yeah, and if you use the Peak Design capture clip, make sure you always have it attached, because when you forget it, it's so annoying. I forgot mine. I've got it on one of my other bags, but it's really frustrating. I've just spotted a shot. This winding lane in the distance looks quite cool. There's a hut behind it. There's not much light on the scene, but hopefully it'll work. It's been raining all night, so there is a lot of moisture and dampness around. Now, there are a few patches of colour in the sky, but all around me, there's some really low-lying cloud. I've got the clear sky above me, but that looks like that's all that's there. I hate tripods that have rubber grips on them. Why is that not undoing? Oh, because it's already all the way undone. It's not going well this morning. This is what I'm looking at. I'm thinking of framing somewhere here. Now with this I could go tighter and then raise it up. And that'll work as well. The only downside to that is it's a bit squashed in. So we've got this tree right at the top of the frame and the road right at the bottom. So that's why I like to come out just a touch. I also like the detail in the bottom with that grass. You don't want it just sticking in. I want a bit of the land there as well. So that's kind of why I've gone for that framing. So I'm going to focus on the house. Got my self timer on, 2 seconds. I'm at 1/3 of a second, f8, ISO 100. Now, I'm not sure if this shot is too busy. Have a look at it and let me know in the comments below. It'd be great to hear your thoughts. So I'm really missing my capture clip, but how cool is this? That's Park House Hill. We've got Chrome Hill in front of me now. It looks kind of moody and hazy. I think there's a shot here as well, looking up the ridge. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. If this sounds like you and you completely forget your settings, you're not alone. But how do you overcome that? And are there things that you can put into place to kind of jolt your memory into remembering those settings? Well, I've been doing a little bit of research on this and I found out some interesting things. But I'm going to grab this photograph first. Now in this shot, I was trying to capture these 3 trees, but the 4th one in the foreground in the bottom right-hand corner was getting in the way. And there was no way of framing it without losing the tree to the left. So I went for a portrait orientation instead. I think this works a little bit better, even though there are only 2 trees in the shot. So it does look like there's going to be no golden hour this morning whatsoever. The cloud's really closing in, and I'm surprised Chrome Hill and Park House Hill haven't been closed in by that cloud yet. So fingers crossed it stays that way for the time being. Now when I'm shooting on days like today, there's no problem. I do look at my settings and I don't forget about them at all. And I was hoping I'd get that sunrise this morning so I could kind of test what I've been learning. But it is kind of frustrating that those moments that we get with that really nice light are so fleeting that it's actually hard to practice and it's hard to put into place. Now with photography, there's so much to think about. And I think this has a lot to do with it. You're kind of thinking of the composition, thinking about what you're going to have in your shot. So sometimes the settings almost get put to one side. And then once the light comes through, you look at your camera You're like, why was I shooting at ISO 4000? A little bit like with my settings, sometimes you can forget about the compositional techniques as well. And it all comes down to when that light is really good. At this location, I got a much better angle of those 3 trees I was trying to photograph earlier, but a bit more mist would have helped give a bit more separation between these trees. So check this scene out. You've got this like winding ridge, and then you've got Park House Hill in the background, and the tree that looks like a massive afro at the moment. That's a nice foreground element. Now, if I look at it at 17mm on a full frame camera, it's a lot of space, lots of things this side and that side that I don't need. So I'm going to crop in on it. Something like 24 to 28 would look really good. Could see that boring sky there. So I'll just come down. We're facing east, so the sun would have risen just behind here. So all would have been backlit on a good sunrise. But I'm thinking in the winter, the sun will rise a bit further around. So that'll sidelight this subject a little bit more. So I'm going to make a note of this place and come back when the light is good. What would be even better is if it's covered in snow as well. That would be fantastic. Not asking for much, I don't think. A snowy scene, perfect sunrise, perfect light. It'll happen, just got to keep coming back. And when it does happen, I'll probably forget about all of my settings once again. One of the things to kind of break this habit is to maybe turn up to the location a lot earlier than you'd think. I seem to be turning up just as the sun rises. When I arrange it, it seems like I've left myself enough time, but then things get in the way. You have breakfast, you have a coffee, and before you know it, you've wasted a lot of time in getting to that location. So it's better to get to the location a lot earlier than you think, and then you can kind of look around and try and find the best composition before that light comes in. Now, if you guys do anything to jog your memory about the settings or about the composition, let me know in the comments below. It'd be great to hear your thoughts. You might have heard that taking 3 shots, and this is something else that I do. I sometimes put my camera in exposure bracketing mode, then when I'm editing, I end up using just one of those shots. The dynamic ranges of the cameras is ridiculous nowadays that you hardly ever need to bracket your shots. The time I find myself properly bracketing the shots and properly using all of the shots is when the sun is in the frame. But apart from that, the cameras can really deal with it well. Now, when you do get that fleeting bit of light, and you've got it in that exposure bracketing setting, especially when you've got the timer at the start, this is when it can get in the way. I've done that a couple of times. I've pointed the camera at the scene, pressed the button, and it goes through that timer cycle. If you do find yourself doing this, try putting the histogram on the back of the screen or in your EVF. If you do that, that will help you get a good exposure. The histogram is such a good tool to use, and it's such a good tool to kind of help you break that habit, because you'll see it on the back of the screen and then you'll think about your exposure. Now, the light is looking quite interesting behind Park House Hill, so I'm tempted to go back down and maybe do some longer exposures, although I've forgotten my 10-stop ND filter. It's not really going well at all today, is it? I've forgotten my capture clip, I've forgotten the little bracket on the side, and now I've just realised I've forgotten my filters as well. Now, one of the biggest things I struggle with is picking the right location for the conditions. You're kind of being like a bit of a mystic Meg in trying to predict what the weather's doing. Weather forecasters can do it to a certain extent, but they're not 100% accurate. So you go to a location, you can have a fantastic forecast, but then it basically does this. Last night I looked at the forecast and it did look okay. It looked like there were open patches to the east, and then that would have thrown that sunlight into the scene. But then I came to the location and it ended up being like this. Sometimes you will find you'll keep going back to the same location time and time again, and you just won't get lucky with the conditions. But you just got to persevere, and this is part of landscape photography. But the more you go out the more you'll increase your chances and the luckier you'll get. Now, even though the golden hour's gone, there are some fleeting bits of light coming through, and I'm completely in the wrong place. If you look up there, the light is breaking through and shining down over here. It has shone down on Park House Hill a couple of times. But yeah, I'm in completely the wrong place. So I probably should have been a little bit more patient over on Chrome Hill. Probably should have waited there a little bit longer. But then again, I was feeling a bit hungry and breakfast is calling. On the walk back home, I ended up getting this photograph of Park House Hill, which I'm quite happy with. The light shone across the hill, giving some interesting shapes. It's just a shame the sky didn't have more interesting clouds within it, but I tried to bring out as much detail in the sky in the edit. Now, getting control of your settings will get you technically better photographs, but if you want to skip all that, you need to click on this video next to really focus on what matters.